of our county commissioners, Monday, December 18, 2017. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, the minutes. Let's do these minutes first. We have the minutes from October 16th. Did you see those, Mike? That's the time.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there approval for those?
I'll make a motion to approve the October 16th minutes.
Second.
Move the second, approve the October 16th minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And the ones that were sent out for December 11th.
Move to approve as submitted.
I'll second the motion.
Move the second, accept the minutes as sent out for December 11th. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Oh, wait, I didn't sign that first one.
You did not.
Okay, we'll go to public comment.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Tim Ravendall, Townsend, White Horse Road resident. I'm here before you this morning in public comment. I'd like to read this and then submit this for the record for the county. It has been brought to my attention that you held an official meeting regarding White Horse Road and its history. I see you were afforded a history presentation on the road by Jenny Schauber. It is important to recognize that your meeting was held with a discussion and decision on property that I own without affording me due process of notice. I reviewed a copy of the minutes from the December 4th, 2017 meeting, and the county is recording a decision by them acknowledging the status of White Horse Road as presented by Jenny Schauber. This decision in the minutes refers to the road as a public road. I contest this decision. I received a copy of a foundation letter submitted by Donald M. Schauber, PLS, December 1st, 2017. In this foundation letter regarding White Horse Road, it references a petition that was submitted in 1912 regarding moving a county road from its current location between Townsend and Winston to a new location. The petition change would have the new road following the section line between sections 2 and 3. This same information was brought before the County Commission in 2004 by Jenny Schauber, making the claim that the county owned White Horse Road. The records of 1912 do reflect the petition, and as noted at the meeting, there are no records that the road was moved to the petition location. Additionally, road change was never executed nor recorded as required by law. The then county road in question is still in its original location and is now known and recorded as Montana Highway 287, Highway 12. The Schauber letter further references Highway 212. We suspect this is an error in print, but shows that facts are important in determining the legal status of real property. We are not sure where Highway 212 is, but I don't believe it's in Broadwater County. In 2004, when this same issue came before the County Commission, it was determined that White Horse Road was not a settled matter. Then County Attorney John Flynn noted that the easements recorded were done and recorded as reserved easements. By definition, the easements recorded in Broadwater County are created by the grantor of real property to benefit the grantors. In this case, the right-of-way in question was granted by the original real property owner to maintain access to the White Horse Ranch. This is further documented in county records by Hunsaker, Cooper, Burgess, Bateman, and others to maintain that private access. I recently asked BLM to provide me a copy of the recorded easement of right-of-way that they have on the newly acquired Iron Mass property. I received a letter from Scott Haight, field manager of BLM Butte office. In this letter, which I have attached here, Mr. Haight informs me that the status of White Horse Road was discussed in 2015. It is stated that there is a discussion regarding public access on White Horse Road with several Broadwater County officials and we're told that it is a public access route. As a landowner, it is important to recognize the rights of private property owners. I have always supported providing the county with a proper legal easement as long as the proper procedure was followed. I even afforded and continue to offer to deed my property to the cause if the proper process is followed. So far in 2017, we once again are not following the proper process as required by law. So with that, Mr. Commissioner, Chairman, and Commission, I would like to submit this for the record.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jim. As far as, I guess I had to, there really was never a decision made, because Laura Nagel had some information that she was going to research, and so, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was there would be another, I guess, meeting or discussion or whatever after some more information is found.
Mr. Chairman, I respectfully understand what you're saying there. I do not speak for the other landowners affected, but it is important that we are all afforded that due process.
Okay, yeah.
And that's basically why I'm here this morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So I'm sure there'll be another
Well,
discussion.
Again, excuse me, but the minutes reflect that the decision in the minutes say that it is a public road, and I contest that.
Oh, okay. Was it after that was a public road? Anybody recall for sure?
The discussion also further stated that it is an unsettled matter whether it's a county road, but the minutes clearly show that the decision has been made that it's a public road, and again, I contest that because due process has not been followed.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll look forward to an official meeting where the facts can be put on the table and this be resolved. It's gone on too long.
Okay.
But it needs to be done right. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks, Tim, and we'll continue on with this. Go ahead.
Craig Burns. Good morning, Commission. About a year ago, I came to you about my children being taken by the county. Basically, Mr. Swanson using his legal authority to levy on my family and take my children out of my custody by manipulating the government in Nevada. It's been a hard road in Nevada of kind of triangulating what happened, but it has come back down to that the county has, is guilty of, in my so far, of parental interference, and that's why I'm accusing the county of, specifically Mr. Swanson. I've put a claim to the county, which has gone unanswered by Mr. Swanson and yourselves. I've called Mr. Swanson multiple times, asking him for some sort of resolution, what's going to happen, and he won't answer me as well. I believe that the lack of involvement by the Commission and Broadwater County allows me to continue my tort claim up to a trial level, but I will continue to figure that out. But if the county is not going to engage itself legally with me, I will be forced to sue the county. I have gone through the proper claim process. I've been ignored, and so then I would that would be the next step. I would also like the Commission to look at the sheriff's budget for this year. I know that last year's budget is a mirrored budget request of the year before. So 2016, the sheriff asked for roughly $1.5 million. And then before the year had even finalized, in July, when I came in July, the same exact budget number had been asked for the next year. So the sheriff operated on the exact same budget numbers that he did the year before. That's not possible if you actually do a budget analysis. It's not possible. Even more importantly, before he had spent the $1.5 million, he asked for the continued $1.5 million, which gave him this year an operating budget of almost $2 million. So it is known and it is printed on paperwork that the sheriff has a $2 million operating budget for this year. And yet we still have people coming in saying, you need more money, you need more money. Okay, well that means only one thing. that he has lots of money, he has enough money, but he is not allocating that money within his budgetary process. And the fact that he didn't have a budget to present the county and just said, give me the same next year, would be proof of that. So when we have widows and we have family members coming in and saying, we need more expenditures, I believe that what they're saying is not that we need more money from the county to give to the sheriff. I think what they're trying to say indirectly is the sheriff needs to allocate the money he's given more correctly. Mr. Slivka has asked specifically for a forensic audit over the last year. I would 100% request that, formally request that. I will do anything that this commission needs to make that happen. Petitions, here's a formal request right now, anything you need. But the sheriff needs a formal forensic audit to determine where the money that is being spent is going. If the people within the county sheriff are asking why there isn't enough money, and we're asking why they have so much money, we need to line that up. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. As far as a forensic audit, we did pass a motion to have a forensic audit. In fact, we changed it to an investigative audit, but nothing's come of that yet. Sorry to say it's still, well, I guess the biggest thing they're going to pay for it probably.
It's in process, it's not in process, it's a pretty cut and dry thing. We're either doing an audit or we're not doing an audit. I mean, that's how it works. So we either have done one or we've never done one. That's how audits work. So right now, if the commission has asked for an audit and we've approved a forensic audit, I would rather demand that that audit be in place, that we push that audit forward, and that for the new year, before the next fiscal comes up, that we have a proper evaluation of what's going on in the sheriff. We've had a sheriff quit, we've had a sheriff assigned, and then now we're having disputes about how much the budget is. And he's $1.5 million. I mean, at some point in time, we have to look at this holistically from the community side and say, what's going on inside the sheriff's department? What's going on inside the jail? Because the people in the jail are coming out and saying stuff's happening. People are in the sheriff and coming out and saying stuff's happening. So we have to look and see what's going on and follow up with that. For the sake of the people that are inside, that have been literally begging this commission to do something about the expenditures within the sheriff's office. But we have to, I mean, there's no way that we can allow another budget to pass without it being evaluated. You can't say that you asked $1.5 million the year before and then you get the same exact amount the next year. Who does that? What department did that? No departments did that. Only the sheriff's department did that. That alone is worth a forensic audit. I'll get the remaining paperwork for the next 6 months from Debbie Kelly. I audit her every 6 months. I go in there and I ask for the books. I have the last 2 years, I have the last 7 years of budgeting for the sheriff's department here. And in the last 6 months, in the last year, the sheriff's budget has increased in the jail 900%. There's a readout on it. It says it on there. It says how much is the increase of prisoner expenditures, how much coffee we give them, how much cable TV we give them. And those expenditures have increased 900%. It says it on the paperwork. I'm not making this up. I'm telling you what it says. So that's pretty significant, a 900 increase on prisoner expenditures in 6 months. That's insane. Yet, it happened. So this really has to go forward. There's no, oh, we're going to get around to it. It has to happen now.
Well, I remember getting back with Corey this one time, and he was waiting for the audit that's done every year. But he's talking about Kalispell. At that time, of course, that was months ago. But
that audit was stalled. That audit was pushed back because they weren't ready, because the sheriff hadn't done his budgeting.
Well, it wasn't just the sheriff's office. In fact, I don't think we even mentioned. You correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the sheriff's office even mentioned it all in that, was it?
No.
I don't think so. I mean, if there is one, it'd go into the sheriff's office, I'm assuming, but you said that Corey wouldn't get back to you. correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me like Corey said there was an ongoing investigation, so he couldn't talk with you, is that?
Yeah, it was that was 6 months ago, yeah. Yeah, that investigation's long gone. Long over. It was over in June. So, ignoring me since June? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. You guys can't just
I'll go ahead,
pretend
I'll get
people
back
don't
to
exist.
Corey and ask him what's taking place in this.
No, please do.
Okay.
I've asked his assistant to call me. I mean, I've asked him multiple ways to call me. I've emailed him, messaged him. Just plain ignoring me. I mean, I kept this commission informed every step of the way as he took my children from me. Every step, I came in here every time and said, hey, guess what? He's got my children still. No reason, no judicial, no judge involved, the whole thing. No judge. CPS won't handle it. Everybody in the state, every state organization defaults to Corey Swanson on this. I have brought this to everybody, the Attorney General. Everybody knows about this. So Corey Swanson has to answer. Or you guys are going to find yourself in a trial. The commission is. Is that really what this government wants? Is to be in a trial with me?
Wasn't there some problem, because the state of Nevada's involved too on this or something? Wasn't that?
And the state of Nevada said, I have 50-50 custody of my children, and this county said, we don't care, we're going to violate that. That's exactly what happened, and that's been determined now by the courts
Okay.
in Nevada.
We could go on and on. But
Yeah, we really could.
But I tell you, I'll do that.
But if you would just, if we would just address this the first time, and address this thoroughly when I asked it, we wouldn't have to address it like this. We could just be done with this, but we can't be. We have to keep dragging it on. I'd like to be finished with myself. It is my family and my life, you know.
What, on the rest of the commission, okay, if I speak with Corey
Yeah.
and time to address this and.
Thank you.
And,
Appreciate it.
I guess he has your number
He has all
or
my
address, he has all the information.
Oh, yeah.
to Get back to you.
Yeah, he came to my house and interviewed me. I mean, he went through an entire investigation process. They went through everything. That's why the police were involved. But as soon as that was over, then he has an obligation to talk to me. Period. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, yes, COS. Looks like you have one here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, the first COS I have is a family transfer for Robert Miller. This again is on the Jackie Smith property. One.
This isn't, didn't we do one last week?
Uh-huh, this is for another relative.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, you're
you'll
keeping
probably be seeing a lot of these. The whole family purchased this and then distributing amongst their family, each their farm area. So this is a 42-acre parcel for Robert Miller to give his son Jeff.
And everything's been gone through it.
It's been through the examining land surveyor and the sanitarian.
I move to support the family transfer for the Miller family.
I'll second.
Moving second to accept the transfer to the Miller family. Any more discussion? No more discussion, we'll go to a vote, all in favor, motion passed.
This next one is for William Phillips, and this is up above Duck Creek. But we had closed an existing easement last year and described a new one, and all the landowners were in agreement. But there's been some difficulties with some of the new area, so they're reopening part of the area that was closed. So this was just a survey to legally describe this as an access for all the landowners up there. Doesn't create any parcels or anything, but just something to go on file to describe the part that's been reopened.
So this is access on the Phillips property for the public in the area to use, is that correct?
Right, right. It goes through Bill Phillips' property and accesses land of Montiel's, and I think Armstrong's are up there too, but some of the other landowners above.
Okay.
Because where they put in the new road, it was very steep, and with the nasty weather, so there was kind of a battle going on. So this is solving a battle issue.
Everybody's agreed on this.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Yeah, lawyers involved, and all said this was the best course of action was to reopen this to make everyone happy. So the other part will remain open, or this, and this one will be also open. So this is the new one, and it's really steep up here. This has a big switchback, which avoids some of the steepness.
All right. I'll move to support the easement change for the Phillips property.
I'll second that.
Move to second to set the easement on the Phillips property. Any more discussion? No more discussion, go to a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
This valve here. Go through it. Apparently on that drainage plan to this gravel pit by Winston, Capital Concrete.
I don't know, we need to do it, we don't have any zoning, do we?
No, we don't have any
So
zoning in this
we have
county.
to do anything, just as building compliance form, so we don't need to do it.
See, gravel pits are, they're kind of a different, they fall underneath the mining.
Under him, Sean?
What this is the Department of DEQ, so Department of Environmental Quality, when they authorize a new gravel pit, they give the county an option to have them conduct a public hearing. That is just so that the public is made aware. I would submit that, yes, we should ask DEQ to hold a public hearing on this open cut gravel pit. And it's no cost to the county. DEQ does the work, they just need, because it's happening in Broadway County, our permission to move ahead with that process.
Was there any opening new or just expanding the one that's there?
Same difference, it's the same process. Because it's more land, be it new or be it an expansion, it's still the same process. So I would move that we do ask DEQ to proceed, and yeah, it does comply with the zoning because we don't have any.
I second the motion, have DEQ have a public hearing on it.
We can do say that DEQ have a public hearing. Cap Concrete and the Winston pit gravel. Any more discussion? No discussion? Vote all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Pass it to him instead of.
Mike, would you
There's
please
another envelope
return
inside
that to
there.
Franklin?
Oh, there's a return it.
From Helen Sand and Gravel, they just thanked us for using their source and everything before, and that they raising their price of concrete by $4 a yard. Any question regarding this increase to? This is the county, this is the commissioner's part there. Drakeford project, we could wait till we get Dana's here to make sure, assuming that's right. No, WWC, I guess we can ask them on that. For some reason, I thought Dana was here today.
No, he's out to get a doctor.
So are you going to table this until WWC is here? Is that your?
Yeah, they'll be
Franklin?
here at 11:15.
Pass
Have
it
them
back.
check it over. That sounds okay.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what he is on too, is to close out paperwork project. Okay, any more mail items? Wonder if, is Valerie gonna be here or anybody ready? Holding on any, with the valves or any other, I don't know what to talk about when she gets here.
We missed the commissioner's community update. I will just restate that I think it's very important that we share with each other what we do midweek so that the full commission is informed and the public is fully informed what we're doing on their behalf. Mr. Chairman.
Okay, go ahead with it.
All right, I will. The Youth Justice Council met last week for our quarterly meeting. We are going to be having and initiating a statewide initiative. We're either going to be looking at chemical dependency or mental health issues. That will be narrowed down at the next meeting that we'll have. And then and that would be specific to juveniles. The second meeting was the Montana Board of Crime Control meeting. And big concern is we do not have any kind of written notice from our federal departments, the Office of Justice programs, that the new structure for Board of Crime Control complies for grants specifically for juveniles, Title II, and victim services. So it's a big worry for the state. So we'll need to just be aware of that.
I spent some time with Nicole looking over a bunch of landowner stuff on White Horse Road and some minutes and stuff on that, trying to get some more information on it. And that was about it.
Yeah, I had a couple of meetings with LEPC and conservation, I guess. Had quite a few phone calls come in, otherwise just business as usual. Since Allison is here, Val isn't here, I think we'll just move it up and let you go ahead, Allison.
Okay, I'll be pretty quick. Alright. I don't have much today, just kind of update on where we're at with programming. We're kind of in winter programming mode right now. We have a Rancher Roundtable meeting tonight. So that's the one with Kurt Pate. And we have about 40 people who are so far RSVP'd for that. So
Nice.
it's pretty exciting. That'll probably be the biggest one to date, Rancher Roundtable anyway to date. We're working on putting together a schedule for crop school in February and Master Gardener class, which will start in February. So we have already put out the save the date for those, but we haven't finalized the schedules yet. Let's see, 4-H, we're going strong. We have the week after Christmas is a teen winter leadership retreat near Bozeman. And we have about 10 kids and a chaperone signed up for that. We have beef weigh-in also between Christmas and New Year's. We are starting to talk about 4-H camp. We've selected our 4-H camp counselors already, so that's happening already. Fair judges. It's like, I'm not ready to think about some of these things yet, but they're all important, and so, you know, you take care of them. A couple other things I've been working on. I think I said last time December is a big report month, so reporting. And then I'm also part of a statewide committee to design a new weed curriculum that's geared towards youth. And so our first draft of that is due January 5th, and so I've been working on that. Just a couple notes for our office. Both Tammy and I are taking vacation in January. And then she has a surgery, so she'll be out a little bit on the end of this month for her surgery, and then she's doing vacation, and I'm doing vacation in January. Different weeks, so the office will still be open, but the hours might be a little more varied, but we'll still have it open every day, and we'll post any changes. And then, let's see, there's that. And then also I just wanted to, I know Scott resigned, and if there's anything that I can do to help in the interim, I know it's a quiet time of year for their office, but if there's anything I can do to help, don't hesitate to ask, because, yeah, I can step in if I need to until we get someone hired there. So.
Allison, on that, John Ferret had suggested you be on the hiring or the interviewing panel. Are you good with that?
Yeah, happy to do that. Yeah, he had mentioned that to me, and yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah, I'd love to, have a lead coordinator that we can work well together, and I think we could do a lot of stuff together, potentially. So Scott and I have worked together on a few things, and I feel like we could build on that and go farther with someone. So yeah, happy to do that.
Thank you.
Are you? I saw you're in the process of advertising for that. It looks like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's public domain. If you happen to know anybody who's looking, might be interested,
Yeah.
a friend from school or what have you, please feel free to send the information to them.
Yeah, I was thinking on that. I have to think a little more. See if I know of anyone who would fit the bill and who's looking. So yeah.
All right.
Any questions, concerns?
No, home run on the Rancher Roundtable.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
I'm excited. So
Yeah.
should be a good one.
And I just want to reaffirm, it's 6:30 tonight, right?
6:30 tonight. Yep, at the back room of the Betsy. Yep. All right. Well.
That's my only question.
Okay. That's easy.
Reaffirm it.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Alice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see, something else, we're running ahead again, I guess we'll call and see if we had one that come over earlier. Budget and everything. Let's see which is. Let's see. Doug, this Franklin out of the Commissioners meeting room. Hey, you're on the agenda. We're running a little ahead of time. Did you want to come down now? Very good. See you.
doing?
Pretty good,
Doug?
pretty good. Had a schedule, but B, you can make it, that's great.
What's that?
I said, you had schedule B, you can make it, that's great.
List of,
Thanks, Doug.
budget. But I hope I didn't skip one of you. I've got one extra here. I don't know how that happened. But anyway, I was looking over the budget, and the only places that it looks like I'm over is on mostly our contracted services, which a lot of those are paid at the beginning of the year instead of the end of the year. And there's a lot of line items that I haven't even touched yet, so I don't see any big items coming up. Got an election in May, but that shouldn't be. My election budget hasn't even been touched yet. So I don't see any big surprises coming up that are gonna railroad me if I need to make any budget adjustments. I think there's plenty of room to do it. I think with the contract services on page 4 of the first sheets of 81%. I think that's from getting our tax bills out. That was our biggest expense there. So I don't really see where there's going to be a problem. I think we'll get through the year and probably have our 10% left over. And this is probably a hard one to read because everybody's in the general fund, so. And there's some with contract services on that second page, the bottom of the page. I'm only at 20% on that one. That's a fairly big amount. I think we've got most of our big ticket items done except the election in May. We've got the taxes done and the tax bills we all got.
How did the taxes come in?
They came in pretty good. We got, of course, that first half you get a lot that pay both halves. So I ran a report to see how many uncollected taxes we had, and didn't see anything too alarming there. You always have some that left over from year to year that nobody pays, but we're looking pretty good on the taxes. The amount of protested taxes is down from what it usually is. We don't have any. I think we might have one. One of the smaller utility companies that is still protest. I think we might have Cellular One or someone that's still got protests out there, but Puget Sound and Northwest didn't. None of those are protest. About all we got left in our protest tax is the is left over from that Farm Bureau class action lawsuit. There was a lot of people that jumped on the bandwagon for that back in, it was 14, 15, and I think those were the two biggest years. And that, I've never been told that that's been settled. The last email I had said it wasn't, so
Oh, wow.
kind of have to wait for that to be settled before we can pull them off. And that was, I think our protested taxes were at about 70,000, which is way down from what it usually is when we have our utility companies. One utility company alone would be more than that.
Several hundred
So,
thousand.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I think we're pretty good on collecting taxes, and don't see any big bumps in the road coming up.
Sounds good. I did a report this morning on the revenue, and it just shows a 33% collected on property taxes. Is that just waiting for everything to be reconciled?
Probably, yeah, because, yeah, we got a lot of our mortgage companies that pay by ACH, and we get them usually the very last day, so they wouldn't be, and we don't actually get the payments in usually until December on a lot of those, but they're postmarked. If they send a check, they're postmarked by the 30th. And I know Beth had, I think the 1st of December was over $1 million day,
Wow.
one of our biggest days. So, yeah, you're not gonna see those until December that's the only thing on Black Mountain that doesn't show up in real time is the tax payments. They don't show up until at the end of the month, I have to do a journal that transfers the taxes from the tax into the A1 and accounting. So, yeah, December, we're still gonna have quite a bit of tax money showing up in our December report.
Okay.
I'm sure once December's over, we're gonna be, I'm thinking probably up in the 60% or so collected, I'm hoping.
Wow. Nice. All right. Thanks, Doug. That's what I assumed, but
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, we always have a lot the last couple of days that are postmarked, and as long as they're postmarked by the end of the month, then we have to accept them with no penalty or interest, but they don't show up until December's payout, so next month will be the
Revenue reports will be prettier.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. But no, we had pretty good tax year with taxes coming in, I think. I don't know if it's better than usual, no, at the end of December. But it didn't seem like it was down at all. People were paying and didn't have really, even with the assessments going up, we didn't have too many protests. So that was a good thing. I was expecting a lot more AB 26s in the Department of Revenue and protests through the County Tax Appeal Board. And we really didn't get too many.
Wow. That's good news.
Yeah. Yep, it is. Anything on here you guys have a question about, or?
No, I don't. Anybody else knows?
No, you're doing pretty good. It looks like you're spent, or you have about 62% left, so that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Any struggles with getting things done? I mean, you guys are still motoring up there, still getting things
No, I think
accomplished,
Yep,
right?
we're going pretty good. Haven't had any waves.
Good,
It's
good.
always a good thing, especially during the winter. Don't want waves when the Lake's frozen over.
Right. Yeah, that's a bad thing.
But yeah, we don't have any big bills that I can think of coming up. Should be just come to work and do business and try not to spend too much.
And spin straw into gold.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, well.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks.
Thank you, Doug.
All right, you got it.
Take care now. WWC is here next.
You could call Val and see if she's going to drive down.
Oh, okay, I was dialing Val, I guess I pushed the wrong one here, sorry. Yeah, thank you. Oh, I didn't do the same thing again. Let's see what this is. Recording I got on hers, this would be out of the office in September. But anyway, there's no other answer. Everything, Brandon, or are you just listening? See what your budget's gonna be. We come up with 2 million. Holding pattern. Lisa's till the next person party shows up. Yeah, about 15 minutes. So we'll just recess for that. Till our party shows up in 15 minutes, WWC.